Hello and welcome to a very special program. Today I met artist Zeleke Gesese. He is a big artist here in Ethiopia as well in different parts of the world. But today we are met to talk about diaspora diplomacy, and he is a president of Addis Ababa Diaspora Association. So we are going to raise several topics in connection with diaspora and diaspora diplomacy. Stay tuned and thank you very much. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, artist Zeleke Gesese. Let me start from Addis Ababa Diaspora Association. Like, you are a president of Addis Ababa Diaspora Association, which is established before a couple of years. So, could you please tell us about the formation, what is the objective, and what are you doing currently in terms of organizing the diaspora and for the nation building and other aspects?
Great, thank you. It's a great question. The Addis Ababa Diaspora Association was formed a couple of years, four years since we started initially. Of course, COVID came and the conflict and all that kind of delayed our progress. But what we formed this association is to bring together the professionals, number one. Number two, those of us who have moved here back to Ethiopia and have established businesses and gone through the whole bureaucracy and the whole problems that exist, but succeeded in establishing businesses and creating employment and transferring knowledge. So we wanted to create a platform where we who are here can communicate with the ones that are around the world virtually. We have a beautiful website, the aadiaspora.org. If you go in there, you can see it. Is to create a bridge between the diasporas around the world and those of us who are back here. So the purpose is really to do, encourage investment, knowledge transfer, and then on the government side, we want to advocate some of the hiccups and problems there are in terms of for the diasporas to comfortably come and invest here. So that's the purpose that we organize this. So it's created by businessmen, I could say, who have returned and established themselves here in the country.
Yeah, the diasporas, especially Ethiopian diasporas, are very crucial for the nation building as well for supporting government and the citizens as well. So as a diaspora association president, what are constructive activities you have been undertaking so far, or what are your plans to do, especially in rehabilitating citizens displaced as a result of the conflict?
Well, before we get to the conflict, we did a strategic plan study. Okay, we want to establish an institution, not just an association. We want it to be continuously after us. It's run by board, so it's run by every four years. We change the board, but the institution will be there. So we have for example, we have 7 sectors where we focus on, like agriculture, science, technology, education. 7 sectors of business where when you sign on our website, when you become a member, we ask you what's your interest. So on that interest, what we do is there will be a platform. There is an interactive platform on our website if you look at it, and then you can communicate. So the biggest mission that we are planning to do is to ease the doing of business for the ones who haven't come back yet. Now there is a big interest in the diasporas around the world, Ethiopian. By the way, you asked me earlier off camera how many years I've been there. We will not discuss that, but in general, all Ethiopians who live outside of Ethiopia, Ethiopia is in their heart. I mean, day and night, the culture and the family and the tie that they have with the country. So they always want to come and do something. But there is, of course, political affiliation and all that kind of stuff. But what we want to do is to create a business-to-business kind of relationship where we can, for example, if you're interested in media and communication, we have, for example, we have people in the media in the board of this. not to mention the name because it's a different TV from yours, okay? So if you are interested in opening a thing, a media format, whatever, you can communicate with that person directly. He can advise you what not to do and what to do to create, to get involved in that business. So what we're trying to do is to create this platform and create the institution. We just opened the office about 6 or 7 months ago. We have an office now where any diaspora from any part of the world can call or email and communicate with us. So what the main mission is to transfer knowledge to Ethiopia, to make it easier for the diaspora to come and do business here. So up to now, we've been setting up the groundwork, you know, the platform. We did a great strategic plan with the consultant hired. We did that, and we changed the, what do you call it, Matadara Dump. We kind of upgraded it to the current situation where we're in for them to understand those of us who are outside of the country. So we've set up the ground for. By the way, we do have a meet and greet program on January 31st at Skyline Hotel at 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. This is a networking program. You know, you meet all our members who have signed up here and who would sign, who have come in for the, you know, many have come for the holidays. Before they go, they can sign up, be a member, and then meet up the ones who are here, who are engaged in business and everything, philanthropy, support work. So we've been doing the groundwork to establish the institution. That's done. So now we're into next step. We're moving on after this event. We have issues to engage the government. In terms of, we've found difficulties in investment, in banking. So we want to consult, you know, as diasporas who've been here and gone through the problems, we want to consult to the government to bring these things up, if any improvement can be done. Apart from that, you know, I was involved in the peace process before the conflict. I mean, those people who know. We were trying to create a platform where there should be a dialogue between all the political players to avoid any other conflict. But it happened, and when it happened too, we've continuously been engaging the government too in advising and consulting. And then on the diplomacy side, you know, I representing my organization. That's why they elected me president. I'm working too fast on them. I went to Chicago last February when things were very rough and the U.S. policy was really in the wrong track. So as you know, President Obama is from Chicago. And in Chicago, because of the business I was in, I was very politically involved because the club that I owned was very high profile. And if you don't engage with the politicians, you could get closed. You know, it's racism in America. You know, it's a lot of things going on there. So I knew a lot of politicians, to say the least. So congressmen, black, most of them from Chicago are, and those people who were advisors to President Obama, they're senior African Americans. I went there and did my pledge. You know, why does this happen? Because of the historical relationship of Ethiopia and the U.S. You know, the African Americans were marching in New York and Chicago to fight the Italian War. That kind of history, how do we lose it? So they were impressed by my presentation, and then you know, they did what they have to do in terms of lobbying and, you know, influencing the Congress not to put any more embargoes and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, it's not in the media what we do. We silently do trying to put the image of Ethiopia in a positive trajectory outside of here. So that's part of what the association does too, because we know the system, how it works in the U.S., especially the ones from the U.S. So, you know, last June, there was Hands of Ethiopia movement that started here. It started here, you know, remember. We did a Hagar Fikr Theater, we gathered, and I was the English speaker there. And then I sent a message to the diaspora saying, guys, get involved in the politics there. You can't just say I'm Ethiopian and just stay back. Engage your congressman. Start from the alderman. Alderman is Kaflakatama guy, you know, from that. And then show them our culture. Because Americans are easy to deal with if you really focus and have a goal to accomplish, you know. And I told them to take their congressman to an Ethiopian restaurant and show him gursha, show him dorowet, you know. They start from there, you know, to convince and let them know what we are. I think that to its level have worked because the diaspora has done a whole lot in terms of lobbying, as you know, with the No More movement and all the protests they've done to change the paradigm of the U.S. government. So that is what we've done in outside of here in terms of lobbying and, you know, trying to change the image, because we're, you know, Ethiopian Americans, so we are citizens, we vote, we have power, and that's what I spoke last June to the diaspora community on media, that they should get involved in the voting too, because we were very comfortable not getting involved in politics. The image, the bad things that we observed the last 4 years from here. So I tried to change that, and then they get involved in voting, which made a big difference too in that regard. Because if you know, in Virginia, the Ethiopian diaspora vote have changed the governor there. I mean, it was a very tight vote. So there are, you know, close to 100,000 voters in Virginia, state of Virginia. So they all went to the one who is pro-Ethiopia, and it worked. So we do that, lobbying and trying to give awareness to the diaspora community to which direction they should help, you know, the image of the country. In terms of, you asked me about supporting the rehabilitation, a lot. I mean, I just came out of a meeting at the diaspora office, diaspora agency office, and then we had a virtual and meeting of all the associations in Ethiopia. You know, they're doing amazing stuff, and especially Amara and Afar regions. Because, of course, Tigray now is open, so we can go in and try to rehabilitate there too. But in around Gondar area, there was this one individual. She's a lady, a young lady from the U.S. She's built 5 schools, rehabilitated. You know, that's damaged by the war. And, you know, I think it will be Eastern Gondar area. I know it in the old name, Begemdir. Yeah, so, you know, we're doing a lot. It's not, they don't do it for media consumption. They do it for eternal satisfaction. A lot, hospitals. We know a group from Minnesota that have rehabilitated a couple of, in Wallo, a couple of hospitals, okay? We're doing it. It's for sure, because the emotion is being engulfed, the Ethiopianism, the national, you know, the nationalism have been charged up because of the conflict of all Ethiopians. So they want to contribute. That's what we're doing to encourage them to do more of that.
There are many Ethiopian diasporas living especially in North America, Europe, as well in Middle East. What shall be done to organize this power, this tendency in organizing the diasporas so as to use them for nation-building activities and so on and so forth?
I would say the people of Ethiopia in the diaspora. Of course, the government manages the country. That's what we're doing. You know, the Addis Ababa Diaspora Association, that's the purpose, honestly, is to have a platform where they're comfortable to get information. Information is key, you know. It's a lot of social media is like as good as it is to change the generations of people, but it's bad part too, because it spreads out everything unfiltered. And what we're trying to do is create a platform where virtually they can communicate with our members here, so you get the right information in terms of mobilizing this power, you know. I knew, because I lived there for many years, I knew the power of the diaspora. 25 years ago, I was interviewed by ETV and then Maznanya program, and they all asked me, "What do you think? When do you think Ethiopia will come out of poverty and change all these problems that we have?" I said, "Well, there are millions of Ethiopians outside of Ethiopia who have been educated and have experienced the global structure of existence when they come back." That's what I said then. So now too, if you really look at it, the diaspora community is the second largest employer in the country. The first one is government, of course, in employment. Second one is the diaspora, in factories and in all kind of industries. And it's not known really. Now the diaspora agencies, I think, trying to bring that up and show. So those of us who are here can mobilize not only the government. I think it's us who can do that, because they rather communicate with us to get the right information, So I think the good momentum is there now. We have to really keep pushing it to organize it more in a platform, So far it's all by who said, he said, she said, it's a rumor thing going on, and sometimes the emotion goes up and then it goes down, So we want to keep it steady to relay information and make them interested in coming and supporting their country. And it's working so far. It's coming good. It's a lot of diasporas back for these holidays now, I know it's very cold in the States. Don't listen to me, guys. Yeah, they're trying to get out of there to warm up a little bit. Yeah. But in the meantime, they're doing a lot here. They're going visiting the provinces and the regions. Yeah, and they're learning a lot. So to go back and support.
As the Addis Ababa Diaspora Association, you have organized a great event which will be held
January 31st.
Yeah. So what are main objectives of the session as well? What are the points or topics you are going to raise?
Yes. Well, the points we're going to raise is we've invited the Investment Commission and the Industrial Park Management. We want them to explain to the diaspora community here and virtually. We might even simulcast it to the world. What is there? What are things that make it comfortable for them to come and invest? What are the opportunities there are? All of that. Those are the two sectors, because we're looking for investment and knowledge transfer and all that. And the other one is in philanthropy, support. We need a lot. I've built many schools in the countryside, and the need is there. It's always there. And not only the damaged ones, even without the damage, there was a need. So on that too, we'll have presentation, and we'll have a few people speaking their experiences here, so that gives them comfortable understanding of what is happening here outside of the rumors that is going on. So the event is a meet and greet and networking, networking project. And then for those of persons who didn't know that we exist, so now they know, they can sign up and be a member globally. You can sign up on the website, and it's going very fast at the moment. They're signing up very good, because that shows you there is a very big interest in all Ethiopians to come in and involve in their country's events.
Now, currently, you're living permanently here in Ethiopia, so you're traveling in there for your own business. So, please tell us in what businesses you have engaged currently. What do you think, or what do you say about Ethiopian artists? What are opportunities? And can you please share us your experience in terms of especially making a business in Ethiopia? Because you have been living for several years in US, Chicago. Yes. Now you have already closed your biggest club right there. Now you're living here in Ethiopia. So you have the opportunity to compare life situations here and there. So there might be several diasporas who are aspiring to come to Ethiopia and work, but they might not get the opportunity. So could you please share your experience?
In terms of moving here, I'm totally comfortable, 100%, because I love my culture. There is no culture like Ethiopian culture around the world, I'll tell you. And I'm so happy that this conflict was resolved by Africans, by ourselves. That's another milestone for Ethiopia too. As we did Adwa to defend the colonizers, I think we now too, by the Africans solving the African problem is a big landmark, honestly. That makes me proud, because Ethiopians, we have all kind of, in our culture, there are all kind of problem-solving solutions, all kind traditional, you know. They're not really nurtured and come up. So this happening is a great deal. I think it gives a big satisfaction for the diaspora too, not that other countries didn't come in under Europe and US. Of course, US has helped with the peace process a lot. I guess it's our work in the US that it charged them to. Yeah, because, you know, everything is election in the US. And when they found out there is a big vote, the parties, you know, diverted to resolving the problem. That's as it is. But if you talk about the arts, honestly, the Ethiopian art industry is, I can call it this like dormant. It's not in the global level. You know, I won the Grammys 25 years ago with the Marley family. And so what I learned from that experience was how big the art industry is. You know what America's biggest export is? Hollywood. Influence, money, and everything. Globally, you know. It's the same thing here. What if we nurture the art business, the art community here? It will support our influence on Africa, and then even locally, you know, there is so much traditional societies here, so that you can bring all that up into unity through the arts. Art is the best vehicle for that. So I am, since you mentioned it, I'll bring it up. We're working on creating a center. The center is a convention center, which is a big problem in Ethiopia. We don't have a convention center. I think there is one being built up now with the government and with the public-private partnership. We're creating that for tourism and everything, and to bring the entertainment business up from its dormancy, which will have a nightclub, not necessarily a nightclub, but a performance center, traditional and modern. And then there is a big hall for symposiums and for seminars and the whole, you know, convention. But behind it is an art school. That's my legacy, I think. God willing, if I succeed, what we're doing is to create a, you know, there are a lot of young people who come with me to me with a music degree. I have no clue what they do with it. They say, I can only teach, but the teaching position is taken. So they can transfer that into, monetize that, you know, into business. So the business part, you know, when I went to college in Chicago, I was lucky enough to have a very great professor who was a big producer at that time in African American music. He told me, you know, in this business, 60% is business, 40% is talent. If you don't have that, then it's going to be rough for you. You're going to be struggling all your life. So I want to transfer that to our young generation here by teaching them how they can monetize their talent and into international business too. What my biggest thing is to train bands and get them signed to international companies. I've done it in Chicago. I've signed two bands, American bands, and we use the same format. We have the school is behind the whole complex. They get training there, and then they showcase their talent in the performance center. So it's all related. So we can check their performance at the training center and get them to the level, international level performance, and then we'll invite big companies to come and sign them. And it's doable. It's right in my vision, you know. That is my biggest thing for the art community. It will have from videography, performance, theater, poetry, bands, okay, editing, all the formats. It's about 18 sectors. That is the biggest thing I think will be contributing for Ethiopia and Africa, because the business now in the arts is only very international level at the West Coast, Nigeria, Ghana, Senegal, and then a bit South Africa. So in the East, it's not much going on. So we'll lift it up with this center, yeah. And then we have a performance center there, so we can bring in all these African artists too, so they can share experience. The biggest thing I'm excited about is, for example, I'm planning to bring the Bob Marley's children. When they come and do a performance at, let's say, Muscle Square, the next day they will lecture the school kids at school, the young people at our school. They will lecture them and share their experience. That's more than a degree knowledge you can get from the real artists. Yeah, on all format. So we'll have. I think there will be media input into it too. So you may have to come in the lecture one day. we'll
exactly, we have to. Yeah, I hope you will succeed, because you were fully successful when you were in US Chicago. I hope you will successfully implement your objectives and the plans you have set out. Finally, I hope we are going to organize some other days to talk about your lifestyle, your arts, your life you have spent by being an artist. We will organize some other time. But for now, as a diaspora, representing the diaspora community, any message you'd like to deliver for diasporas, Ethiopian diasporas living around the world?
Well, I would like to say to them, your country of birth needs you. And then for whatever reason that you haven't involved in the day-to-day thing of the country, now is the time. Because, you know, with the conflict and the change that has come the last 4 years, there's a lot of interest. And then there is one sector in the US, which I challenged them when I went in August. There are professionals, doctors. Like in Illinois, for example, the state I was in, there are about 200 medical specialist doctors, Ethiopians. I mean, these are the top of the top, cream of the crop in the US. So I'm challenging them, when are you coming back? You know, I tell them, you don't have to come physically. You can create a satellite clinic. And there are many graduates here, medical doctor graduates. You can hire them, and then you can communicate online or technology, and they can, you know, you can create jobs. You can. So I will say to Ethiopians around the world, first of all, happy holidays. We just went through the 2 great holidays, and then this is the time to get involved and support your people, because we have experience there. Even more than the degrees and the educational credentials, the lifestyle itself, going through the trouble of getting there, and what you learn in lifestyle is a big value in life, you know, it's wisdom. So by them getting involved in the Ethiopian affairs makes a big difference here for them. So please get involved, sign up, aadiaspora.org. There are many other organizations, associations in Ethiopia. Sign up, get involved in philanthropy. You know, that's a long way work for us. Get involved, and we'll succeed, and we'll take our country up to the middle class level, they say. Middle income country, yes.
For your precious time, artist Zeleke Gesese, on behalf of ETV English language program, as well my audience, I would like to say thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, you too. Thank you very much.
All right, I hope I will see you some other time again.
It's always a promise. Thank you.
Well, viewers, this concludes our programs with artist Zeleke Gesese in connection with diaspora diplomacy and other topics in connection with Addis Ababa Diaspora Association, which was formed or established before a couple of years, and undertaking several activities in connecting diasporas living around the world to Ethiopia. And some other time we'll meet and raise other topics. Until I come yet with another issue, I am Wagayo Mulana. Have a nice time and stay with other programs of ETV